All right. Let's go and get started here. So it's a crying shame, depending on who you ask, that Walmart is shutting down. Walmart is shutting down stores in Chicago. Sounds like 4, probably more. They're shutting down stores because they're not able to make a profit. And I could already hear some progressives, some lefties crying, complaining that, maybe they could just suck it up and deal with the loss. They've been dealing with the loss of like $10 million for like 17 years. For the past 2 decades, they haven't been able to make a single profit operating in Chicago. At least the stores operating in Chicago. At all. So, like, they're not running a charity, okay? Like, you could say what you want, it's Walmart. But any business in their right mind, no. Any business at all, any business even run by some weird lefty guy that has some weird takes on, like, how business should be run, they won't be sustainable in Chicago, in those crime-ridden areas, because anything you have to sell is just going to be stolen off the shelves. So how is any business going to operate if people can just willy-nilly go in there and just take whatever the hell they want? And there's no consequence whatsoever. No one's going to stop them. And if they get stopped, they get let out. It doesn't matter. The criminals run the show. It is an environment where it's not just Walmart. It's other companies too. And it's also those small mall and pop stores, which you don't hear about on the news because no one cares about them. Not even the freaking leftists that say who cry otherwise. And maybe I'm not talking to you. I mean, it really shouldn't be a political thing. Really what it is. You have Walmart shutting down in Chicago. Why? Rampant theft. Just unhinged, uncontrolled theft. You could just go in there and take whatever the hell you would like, and who's going to stop you? Security's not going to stop you. The police aren't going to stop you. Even if they stop you, they arrest you. What? You go in, you're out. There's no conviction. They'll justify it. They'll be like, oh, they're stealing to feed their family. They're stealing because they need to make ends meet. They're not stealing loaves of bread. They're stealing like $900 worth of groceries. They're stealing TVs. They're stealing. No. There's still more than that. There's still whole shelves of detergent. They're stealing anything they can. The jewelry, everything. They're just taking. Trying to make ends meet. If I was willing to guess, and I am over here, I think they want to sell that stuff on the black market. I think they want to steal from Walmart and just sell. I mean, if you steal it, you could sell for cheap. So they're shutting down stores. And it's just, and you have the leaders in the city. You have the mayor, the former mayor, and other leader figures trying to shame Walmart. Poor you on Walmart for like abandoning these low-income families, low-income communities that need you, that depend on you. Well, where were you? Where were you, leaders? Where were you? What were you doing to help control the crime in the city? It's insane. Once again, I know people are going to say, oh, it's Walmart. Who cares? They could probably lose $10 million a year and be able to still make a profit elsewhere in other stores. First off, they're not running a charity, okay? But would you operate a business in Chicago now? Would you? Would you? If you had $10 million to burn, would you invest in some sort of would you spend that capital in an investment and a business to help sell something, offer a service to that community? No, you wouldn't. You would not. You would not. Because for damn sure, your business is probably going to be destroyed by local rioters. I mean, over the past weekend, there's just rioters going crazy. Over what? Over nothing. Over nothing. Nothing at all. They're just. Have you heard about this? A bunch of teenagers, I guess a bunch of them, hundreds. I guess they got together on Telegram or however they coordinated this, whatever. A mass riot where, once again, nothing. A policeman didn't choke anyone out. There wasn't a shooting or anything like that. The cops in Chicago, I guess, been nice. But still, even with that said, a bunch of teenagers, they were calling them kids, but they're teenagers, decided to go around and riot all together by destroying cars, burning them, smashing windows, smashing businesses, attacking just random pedestrians, just flat out. I can't show you these videos because they're very violent. YouTube would flag it down. But, you have the leaders of that city saying that it's just a protest. A protest of what? Protest of what? They'll say, "Oh, it's a protest of segregation." All stuff, and that they don't have what the other people have. What are you talking about? The people rioting, they're wearing designer shoes. They're wearing Jordans. They're wearing expensive. They have some good drip. They're wearing some good hoodies, some good shirts, some good jeans. They got cell phones. They even got guns. They got guns in Chicago. You can't get guns in Chicago. They got modified handguns. Illegal. Off, So they're able to get that. But they're protesting because of oppression. Also, shut up. But the reason I get to that, the reason I talk about that, is because it's that environment that allows this criminal element to just grow like a cancer. Because they apologize for it. They bend over backwards for it. They defend it. They allow it to go unchecked. Even now, you can see Lori Lightfoot saying that you shouldn't call it mayhem. To call it mayhem is dishonest. I can't show you these videos. I cannot show you these videos. Just go on Twitter, search Chicago riot, and you're going to see it. You're going to see what I'm talking about. It's absolute mayhem. Absolute mayhem. And they just want to say, "Oh, don't worry, everything's fine." No. It's not fine. This whole soft on crime thing is not working. That's what's happening here. It's a lot of issues. A lot of issues. One of which is the soft on crime. It's not working. The people in your society that just want to steal from others, take from others because they can without no consequence, guess what? Maybe they don't belong in your society. Maybe they need to be put away so that other people who want to make a living, other people who are trying to sell something, people who are trying to have a service, have a business, can have a life. Because what's happening is the people who just want to take stuff from others are just taking from those who had the capital to invest and made the risky decision to do that, but now they lost it all. And big companies like Wal-Mart, they could take those hits only for some time, and then they could close the shop. They'll still exist as a company and still keep out the stores open. But small businesses, they can't do that. They can't do that. They're shot. They're done. They went all in on their investment. And because your inability to keep your city safe, you ruin those lives. And your community suffers because of that. Those hooligan thugs that just steal from others, that just take from others and threaten with violence and actually inflict violence on each other each and every day, by the way. All these people cry about the school shootings that happen. In between the school shootings, which there's a lot of shootings here in America, but in between them, how many shootings in Chicago do you not hear about? You only hear about a few. But each and every day, multiple times a day, there's always shootings. Always shootings. Always. Safe place, right? Wonderful place. Wonderful place. Wonderful place. Great environment. Oh, yeah, man. I really want to start a business there. Oh, yeah, man. As a tourist, I really want to go there. And then these leaders will get on the microphone, get behind the podium, and cry about how their communities are being disserviced, how Other people are suffering. It's like, what are you doing? You cannot even protect your own community. And it's, some people say, it's the black community. Okay, the black community. Okay, people say that. What I'm saying is, if you have a community where there is no law, there's lawlessness. Lawlessness is allowed. Criminals are allowed to go unchecked. That community is going to suffer. I don't care what race it is. If you have a community that descends into lawlessness and lawlessness reigns supreme and it's allowed, it's encouraged by not ignorance here, really just either wishful thinking that things will work better, things will just turn around if you address like societal issues, or just like maybe like kind of villainy. It's weird, right? It almost seems like the wicked, as if like they're complicit in this, creating this chaotic environment. It's almost like the purge, a consistent purge. That's what cities like Chicago descended to. It's like a constant purge, constant anarchy. You can't have a thriving community or thriving society off of that. Not at all. The people who are a cancer in your community, I don't care what race they are, you got to eliminate them by putting them in a cell. Wait. You got to put them in a cell. You got to arrest them. Arrest, detain, put them in, let them do their time. I mean, if they're just going to run rampant, I mean, that's the whole idea of like that. Okay, like, I mean, you're going to be stealing from others, taking from others, if threatening people, assaulting people, killing people, raping people. Maybe you should do some time. Maybe you should go behind bars. Maybe you don't belong out here in society. Okay? Because you're not safe. And the reason, once again, I'm getting into this, going into the criminal element, it is part of the reason, the main reason, though Walmart will probably say otherwise. No, they kind of hint at it, didn't they? Why they're closing shop in Chicago. Once again, would you start a business in Chicago? You would not. You would not. It would be stupid. And some people say it's Walmart. They could suck up the loss. Like I said, they sucked up the loss for 17 years. Losing $2 million each year. We're like, oh, $2 million. It's Walmart. They could probably lose more than that. They don't have to, though. I mean, if you want them to stay in the community, maybe not. Maybe the community shouldn't be stealing from them all the freaking time. Maybe they shouldn't be vandalized all the freaking time. If you want those stores to stay around, don't allow the criminal element to just destroy it. Okay? Because that's what's going to happen. They're just going to leave. They're not running a charity. They're not obligated to help you. And some people say, oh, that's the fault of capitalism. Oh, what if it's communism be better? What is it? If it was a government-ran grocery store, state-sanctioned, state-backed grocery store, that I think then, I'm kind of curious how they would operate then. I guess they'll give you like the bare essentials. I don't know how that would work. No, you can't just rob from stores all the time and expect them to stay around. Not even government-ran stores would just allow that. The stores would just never be stocked ever. The police, the government would have to to do something about that. Here's the thing too. I look at the situation in Chicago. I look at this stuff. It's like we're living in a dystopian nightmare. We're living in a situation that's like it is like RoboCop. It's like Judge Dredd. It's like Demolition Man. Except we're in that phase in those movies there was like this hellscape, right? This dystopian, crime-ridden nightmare of a society. But part of the narrative of those movies, there was like this thing that was introduced to help correct the criminal element, help keep things safe for society, for citizens, right? But that's not happening. That has not been introduced. I'm waiting for that. I'm like, do they want us to beg and plead for a Judge Dredd program? I don't want a Judge Dredd program. I want to be able to do some things, and not get caught. Okay, I figured a Judge Dredd would figure it out. You wouldn't be able to. What am I saying? I was referencing when weed was illegal. Shit, dude. It kind of is still, but I mean it is, but at the same time, you kind of get away with it at times. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, I think a Judge Dredd program would be a little too severe, but at the same time, the way things are going now, if there was a button right now I could press to start it, I would definitely press it. It's gone crazy. Where's our RoboCop? Where's our Judge Dredd? Where's our where's the Demolition Man stuff? That's kind of where we're at here, isn't it? It's gonna be like Demolition Man. The new police force that they release, they're gonna have like shock tasers, and they have to go through so many procedures to be able to use it. And it's gonna be like this nerf safe thing, when really the real society's underground, and that's where everyone's really living. The fake life is on top. Demolition Man got it right. Demolition Man is really what the future is going to look like. Except, no, I think it's on point. I think it's on point. Chicago would be underground. There might be one safe city. It might be somewhere in Florida. It might be Miami. Okay, that might be the one place that might be safe. But man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But like I said, it's not just Walmart. It's just any name brand store, big store that could take the heavy losses and still survive and operate elsewhere. Those are the ones that be closing shop. And I said, moving out. You'll hear about them. And people be like, oh, the big corporations. You didn't like them. You don't like them now. Deal with it. Deal with the loss. Deal with the loss. See what it's like. It'd be hard. It'd be hard to get the basic things. Hard to get the food that you need. The small stores, the little bodegas, the little corner stores, they're not going to really operate. It's crazy. And let me hint something. I know. Some of this we're kind of going back over. But because there's layers to it, it kind of repeats because but we need to talk about some other things related to it. Let's emphasize this. It's gotten so bad. Imagine you're a small store owner, right? A small business owner in like some place like Chicago, on one of these cities. It's gotten so bad. Someone go to your store and you can tell them, your card was declined. And that person can flip out at you. It throws something at you, and you tell them leave the store. Their boyfriend can then come and stab you with a knife. You grab a knife, you stab that mother, and you kill him in self-defense. The guy was coming at you. He already hit you. It's your store. You have every right to defend yourself. Every right to defend yourself. 100%. And for defending yourself, what's the prize you win? You go to jail. You're charged with murder. You're convicted. And you spend time in prison. But what did you do? You defended yourself. You were running a small store in your local community that was servicing your local community, selling chips and beverages and beer and smokes and things, providing for the community. Providing a lot more than some of these other guys. You just told this woman, I'm sorry, your card was declined. Your EBT card was declined. You spent too much. And she, as a grown adult, decided it was the best thing to do is to flip the script and just throw things at you, get her boyfriend to stab you. And people will apologize for this stuff. People will defend this stuff, even on Reddit. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting and vile. I see them like, you guys are scum. You guys are the scummiest scum I've ever fucking seen. You defend that shit. Defend the people who go ape shit over nothing. The criminal element. When really, I see that story, I'm like, that business owner was just defending himself. That business owner was... Why was in that situation? That should not even been happening. I mean, that possibility shouldn't even been there. But it was loud because that city was loud to go. And then, of course, I'm talking about a situation in New York. Not too far from Chicago, though. I mean, as far as the criminal element goes and all that. It's insane, man. It's almost as if a violent mob in Chicago comes up to you, I don't know if it's better to let them have you and kill you or for you to fight your way to go to prison in self-defense. Because that's what it is. You know, that violent mob, that violent riot over the weekend, you know, they attacked this woman that was just going to her apartment. She was going to her apartment. They grabbed her and they beat the crap out of her. And now there's some they'll say they saw the video. No, they didn't even attack her. They pulled her, forcefully pushed her away, and they're beating up another teenager. Are you kidding me? I've seen that video many, many times. They pull her into the swarm and they all start attacking her for no reason. No reason. Thing that really pisses me off more than this, watching this criminal element thrive and continue to foster and grow. These leaders apologizing for it. These leaders gaslighting, trying to gaslight civilians, gaslight their civilians, their voters even, into thinking everything's fine, everything's going to be fine. What makes me even more enraged are the people like on Reddit, on Twitter, who defend that stuff. It's like, you don't have to be that. Unless you're like a sock account for one of those other guys. Like, why are you regurgitating what they're saying? Because you can see it with your own eyes. Like, we are living in a dystopian criminal nightmare. It's crazy. It's not a safe place. Far from it. Far from it. There is no prosperity. I don't see any hope. I don't see any prosperity. I don't see any progress. I don't see any future in these cities. I see a mentality to tear it all down, to burn it all down, and to, as if they are entitled to anything and everything. As if they are entitled for something great. But man, you don't even respect what you have. You don't even appreciate what you have. You want to tear it all down, burn it all down. It's sickening to me. Absolutely disgusting. You know, on this channel, I like to chill a lot. I chill videos. I like Babe Metal. I love Bites. I like Nimafil. I like those bands. You know, that's me chilling. That's me chilling. Every now and then, I see something that gets me fired up to rant. It's one of those times. It's one of those times, as you can tell. Over the weekend, I saw the Chicago riots. Like, that's weird. What are they rioting about? Oh, no, there's not a shooting. There's not a police shooting or anything. Okay. Huh. And like I said, I would show you. Initiate. There's a huddle of teenagers, and it's like they're coordinating, they're planning, and then they just burst out. They just disperse. They literally just disperse from their cluster and they start attacking whatever is around them. It's like a flash mob of violence. If you want to see that end, you want to see things change, you're going to have to go hard on crime. That's the only way. This whole addressing the community thing is just a bunch of... It's not working. It's not going to work. These kids are so entitled. These kids feel like they can get away with anything, really. And you think about the consequences are very light. You know, I get it. I get it. People want to be bleeding hearts and be like, you know, let's solve a crime, let non-violent offenders go. What do you mean by non-violent? You mean people who just take? People who just steal? No. We can't just let them go either because we see what it's causing. It's causing situations where businesses, including Wal-Mart, including Walgreens, including Target, Best Buy, including the mom and pop stores, including restaurants, they can't exist in that environment. They can't exist where there's someone, where there's a large group of people who grow wise to the fact that, hey, you mean I could just steal and no consequence? You mean I could just take and no consequence? You mean I don't have to play by the rules of everyone just earning money and spending money? I can maybe earn some money here and there, but I could just, why spend the money when I could just take? Because that's what they're seeing. That's what they're seeing. That's what the youth is seeing here. You think about it. If you're in New York or California or one of those states where it's like you could steal, you're allowed to steal up to a certain amount, 950, and you're not stealing, what's wrong with you? Honestly, that is truth right there. If you're in one of those states where you're allowed to steal $950 up to and you're not stealing, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're not playing the game smart. They're allowed to go. Why would you spend any money whatsoever on that Gatorade when you could just take it? Why? For under $950, you could take a lot. You could take a whole lot of stuff. That's crazy. If you think about it, like why would they play it that way? Why would they play life on hard mode when they do it on easy mode? You know, take some things. And they'd be allowed to do that. You know, be allowed, not be stopped, and not be prosecuted. Okay. All right, well, then we'll just take that. You allow the criminal element to foster. You allow them to grow. And it's not good. It destroys communities. It is a cancer. It is a rot. That mentality, that soft and crime mentality, is rotting the cities to the core. If people can't be safe in their cities, they're going to move out. And when they do that, people can move out first. People who have the money, the means to do that. As they do that, well, that means less taxes, less people to pay the taxes. That means the services that were dependent on those taxes are going to suffer, as they will, the schools and all that. Here in Texas, it was like property tax to go to the schools. I'm not sure how it is in other places necessarily. But it's if you allow and encourage an environment where criminals pretty much are allowed to do whatever they want, run rampant, grow, it's almost as if criminals run the show anymore. There's stories, there's situations, especially in Chicago, where there's murders, there's carjacking and murders, and the DA, the person who's supposed to prosecute the murders, are actually going over themselves, tripping over themselves to try to get them a softer sentence. It's like, ma'am, you are the DA. It's your job to prosecute these crimes. But you are going softer than the defense attorney. One has to ask, are you getting a cut? Are you part of their gang? What is going on here? Are you A-okay with these criminal thugs just running the street? Here's the way I look at it, man. If someone has the nerve to take the life of another over material possessions, they do not belong in society. If it was up to me, if I was Judge Dredd, and someone murdered over a pack of smokes, over Coca-Cola, over anything, over a car. When I say murdered over a car, I mean the person went up to the person driving the car, the person who owned the car, and tried to murder them. That person we put in a queue for a long time. Isolation queue for a long time. Now, if that person was murdered in self-defense by the person who was being assaulted, well, then that's fine. That's fine. Because here's what some people don't get, and it seems to be coming from the left. I don't understand it. When you decide you want to play that game to take someone's life over a possession, you made that mistake. You rose those stakes to some sort of fatal. You rose those stakes to something fatal. You want to play that game? You want to play that game. Do not cry when you lose. But what happens now is that when you do lose, when they lose that game, their side will cry for them. Oh, they were murdered. Oh, they were murdered over a car. No. It was my car. I was in that car. They tried to steal it from me. Yes, I did in their life. But they decided to play that game. A lot of these people who have sympathy for these thugs, I don't think they've ever been robbed. I don't think they've ever been attacked or assaulted before. Because it's not good. No one wants that. But it's that sort of environment, rampant theft, thuggery, assaults, and stuff like that, that's led to this. Or stores like Wal-Mart and Walgreens and Best Buy and Target are just closing down in Chicago and other cities. Like I said, there is a button I could press right now to bring in the Judge Dredd or the RoboCops or whatever. I'll press it. But we're not going to get that. I don't know what the future holds. I can't imagine it get worse, but it's going to. This will be a short stream. But this summer is going to be fucking hell. This summer is going to be a nightmare. I'm predicting it now. This summer is going to be a freaking shit show. It really is. It really is. And watch it be about fucking nothing. I know it's doom and gloom. No one wants to hear doom and gloom. I'll tell you the truth. I don't like the doom and gloom either. I want to look for the positive. I want to look for things to look forward to enjoy. It just gets hard, you know? It gets hard to do that. All right. All right. I think we'll wrap up the stream here. But you let me know what you thought about this. This all stems from Walmart closing in Chicago. Okay, closing a number of stores. It's not just Walmart. This whole thing was to dig into what led to that. Okay, it's not like they just close up shop after 1 year of losing sales. It's 17 years. Okay, 17 years of losing $10 million each year, and later years it even doubled that. I mean, their stores in Chicago got decimated, especially in the 2020 George Floyd summer of love, peaceful, whatever. The totally not a riot thing we saw there. They're absolutely destroyed. Why would they function in that environment? I mean, you wouldn't run a business there. Why would they? You're not going to burn that money like that. Maybe all that money, that community rose to, maybe all that money could be spent in somewhere to help it, but that's not happening, is it? No. Anyway, with that said, take it easy, man. Try to. It's hell out there. But we'll have our peace, we'll have our fun with the things we enjoy. Like Baby Metal or Love Bites. Bandmade. That's right. I got myself some Baby Metal tickets for August. I look forward to that. I do. With that said,